My name is Harun Khan, and I am the co-chair of South and West Asian Consultative Committee of Toronto Chief of Police. Today, we are celebrating our annual meet and greet. This means we invite the members of the community to meet the chief. If they have any concerns, the community have any concerns regarding the police or anything, they will talk to directly with the chief, and vice versa. If chief have any concerns, he will talk to the people, he will meet his people, because the chief of police, Mr. Mark Sanders, is very much interested in going as close as possible to the community, and this function is one of them, proving that he would like to meet the community and he wants to come close to them.
Good evening. I'm Acting Superintendent Richard Hegedus of the Toronto Police Service. I'm here in my capacity as the co-chair of the Chiefs South and West Asian Community Consultative Committee. Today we're hosting a meet and greet event at Toronto Police Headquarters, and we have approximately 150 plus community members, business leaders, government leaders, and others who represent groups in the community are coming to headquarters for this event. We'll be sharing a meal afterwards. We'll also be providing a presentation from our talent and acquisition unit officers in regards to recruiting. The Toronto Police Service is recruiting this year, both for police officer positions and positions in many civilian roles. So we encourage you to apply, get online and look at Toronto Police, the website is www.torontopolice, that's all one word, .on.ca, and look up careers and you'll see what's available to you. I encourage you to apply. It's an amazing and a rewarding career. Thank you. just ask everybody to take their seats. We're going to commence in a couple of minutes. Good evening, everyone. I'm Acting Superintendent Rick Hegedus, and thank you so much for attending Toronto Police Headquarters tonight. I believe we have an interesting program for you. This is the 4th year in a row that we have hosted the South and West Asian Chiefs Consultative Committee Meet and Greet event, and the turnout gets bigger every year, so thank you so much for coming. I'd like to turn the microphone over to Mr. Jake Deer of Omni Television, who will be our MC for tonight. Jake?
Thank you. Thank you, Rick. Which mic do I choose? Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Toronto Police Services Meet and Greet for Community Leaders, hosted by the Chief South and West Asian Community Consultative Committee. Those business cards are extra long. My name is Jake Deer, and it is great to be here, as Rick said. First of all, give yourselves a round of applause. It's Good Friday, and here you are. You'd rather be in a mall shopping or whatever, right? I know that's where my wife was all day today with my daughter. It's going to be an expensive night for me today. But it's great to have you here. I was speaking with Johnny earlier, and he was saying, Jake, we started off several years ago when this initiative took place, and you almost had to pull people in, make phone calls, and trying to get them here. But he said this thing has grown so much, people are just coming and coming and coming, and that speaks to the great work that the Toronto Police Services does and this committee does in engaging the community and bringing everybody together. So I think that's really terrific. Give yourselves a round of applause one more time. Now, he was a little concerned that I'm emceeing, but I actually like our next speaker. He has done an exceptional job, in my opinion, and he's very engaged in the communities that he and his service lead. He is the leader of the Toronto Police Services, which please welcome. It's great to have him here, Chief Mark Saunders.
It's not over yet. Command officers, senior officers, officers to the greatest civilians in policing, thank you so much for giving me an opportunity. Thank you so much for being here. I can't begin to say how happy I am to see so many people. And I know that more people will come as time goes by. But looking around the room and seeing all the people here gives me great joy, because it gives me hope. It gives me hope because it gives us an opportunity that as law enforcement, as the largest municipal police agency in the country, as the most diverse police agency in the country, we've invested a lot. We've invested a whole lot of time and effort to try to reach out to every member of the city, whether you work, live, or play here. When we talk about equity and having the right resources available to everybody, every citizen of Canada, every citizen of Toronto, the dividends in the work by seeing people is a good indication that we may be moving in the right way. And this is an opportunity to grow and to develop even more. Because the more voices we have, the more we learn. And the more we learn, the more we have the opportunity of moving further down. When I joined 36 years ago, there's absolutely no way that I would have a room full of people from the South and West Asian community here, and yet here we are. And so I remember day one, and I remember now, and I'm able to take the snapshots of both moments. And it is a reflection of a lot of things. It's a reflection of a lot of work from those men and women from the Toronto Police Service that try each and every day to make the positive difference of the lives of the people they come in contact with. But equally, it makes a very large statement to the members of the community. And as Jake said, there are other things that you could have done today This is one of the most dynamic cities in the whole country. It is the most dynamic city in the whole country. And there are a million things that you could have done, a million things that you could have taken the time to do, and yet you chose here. And so it means to us that you are people that understand the importance of working with, and you want to be involved in making a positive difference in the communities that you come from. And so that provides an opportunity for each and every one of us. So when I look and I speak to people that I've seen before, and more importantly, I see new faces, that's what I get excited about. But to everyone that is here, that has worked with us, to all the members of the consultative committees, I want to say personally thank you for contributing, because you have played an equal factor to our success. We can never do it alone. If we don't have the community that trusts us, that wants to work with us, that wants to have a social event with us, then we will fail when it comes to law enforcement. We will fail as a city. And so having you here really gives us the opportunity for that growth and development. Now, I will give a horrible pitch, because I shouldn't, but I need everyone to know that we're hiring right now. We are hiring. We want the best of the best. And the best of the best are people that understand the importance of serving. There is no greater calling, there's no greater job than helping others. And it's even greater if you help others and ask for nothing in return. That signifies what the front line does each and every day. That signifies what my civilians do each and every day. And so if you are willing to be part of that team, I would not be any happier than to have you come on board. And if you have a friend or a relative, please tell them that we are looking. Because at the end of the day, one of the most important factors of being a successful community and the most diverse city in the world is that reflection piece. Do we reflect our community? This is something that we've heard time after time. If the answer is no, then that's a signal. That's a signal that we've got a lot of learning, a lot of growing, a lot of developing to do. And so in order to make that happen, we have to invest. We have to go out to the various communities to properly identify who we are, what we are all about, what we represent, and whether or not those values that we have, that we possess, represent something that you would be interested in. Because all the work that it takes to get you in the room, it doesn't happen overnight. Because first you have to hear what we're all about, first and foremost. Then you have to decide if you like it or you don't like it. And if you don't like it, we want to know why. But if you do like it, then the second phase is, do we believe you? Because words alone mean nothing. And that belief comes from the investment. Do our actions signify what we say we will do each and every day? And if they do, that gets you in the room. And so that's a start. But going back, when we did a survey on our cultural assessment, and we did town hall meetings, we did community meetings, went right across the city, north, south, east, and west. The one thing that resonated with whether or not you liked this or not was the first encounter you had with the Toronto Police. If that encounter was positive, you liked us a lot. If it was not, we had work to do. And the other thing that resonated with, it didn't matter when that encounter happened. It still resonated. We were hearing people were telling stories about their first encounter 15, 20 years ago. And the fact that that encounter was still being discussed 15, 20 years ago teaches us as an organization that there's something that is uniquely important that we have put in our training module, in our core values. And that is every interaction matters. Whether it's on the phone, whether it's at the front desk, whether it's my fantastic looking first responders, whether it's our civilians, every interaction matters. And so if we're going to be successful, we have to walk the talk. But we have to understand the walk that we need to have. And that's where the diversity piece comes in. When we have the opportunities of learning from all the cultures, all the nuances across our city, that makes us grow, that makes us stronger in what we do. And so today is a fantastic opportunity because it is a meet and greet. And if we can have conversations at a social level where our guards are down, when our guards are down, we can learn more from each other. We can learn more from each other. We've got Judge Wong here, who is an inspiration to our communities. Judge Wong is responsible for creating new Canadians. And he took the time to come to me and say, we need to plug the police in that process. They need to understand what Toronto Police represents and what they can and cannot do. They need to understand the importance of that relationship piece right at the front end. But there is a two-way street when it comes to learning, because on the other end of the spectrum, I've had opportunities of going to these events and seeing the smiles on people's faces when they come and when they swear to become citizens and what they say they're willing to do. And out of all the countries in the world, out of all the cities in the entire world, people come here, number one. Number two, people stay here. That's a testament of the product that the City of Toronto has, the opportunity, the respect. You have the rights of everybody else. These are the fantastic foundations that we have. And so when I have the opportunity of years later meeting people who the first time they met me was in their swearing in, I've got to tell you, it gives me great joy. And so these moments are not to try to force you in. These moments help remind us that every interaction matters. So you having the opportunity of talking to us freely, whether you're brought here because a friend told you to come here, whether or not you're an in-law, whether or not you're just a friend, these are moments where we get to develop and become stronger as a police agency. So I want to thank you for taking the time, for coming here, for giving us an opportunity to have those conversations, to become stronger at what we do, and hopefully we help make you stronger as citizens, and paying it forward for the next generation. Because in this room, we are all going to be as successful as we want to be. So on behalf of the Toronto Police Service, thank you for trusting in us. Please work with us as we figure out how to become even stronger, how we can invest in you so that our product of policing in the community is a product that you want to become a part of, that your friends want to become a part of, that your sons and daughters want to become a part of, so that we continue to get it right. So thank you for being here. I enjoy having the conversations with you. I hope you have an amazing night tonight, and I look forward to having some conversations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chief, and thank you for your leadership as well, sir. I'd like to invite now the co-chairs of the Chiefs South and West Asian Community Consultative Committee. I've known these two gentlemen for a very, very long time, Superintendent Rick Hegedus and Mr. Haroon Khan. You know, Haroon, I won't speak about Rick, but I'm sure everybody knows Rick, but Haroon has been a great community volunteer from day one. I've known him for, I think, almost 30 years. You know, he was the first one to actually celebrate, in the South Asian community, celebrate Canada Day, where it was the entire community. And during the two Eid celebrations, this man opens up his home to, I don't know, 600 or 800 people, and everybody comes in, and it's a great celebration. But that speaks to the kind of person he is and the kind of folks that we're dealing with. So our two committee chairs, Rick Hegedus and Mr. Haroon Khan. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Haroon, for all your hard work that went into hosting this event and organizing this event. I just want to share a short story. And I was reminded of something I heard here last year and the year before and the year before. So about 2 days ago, I was at an event, and there were a number of South Asian people, and it took place at our Toronto Police College. And one of the guest speakers was a gentleman who had been a Canadian for many years, but who was originally from a South Asian country. And before he started speaking, the first thing he said was, I never thought that in my entire life I would be invited into a police station to share a meal with police officers. And I know around the room there's a couple of people who are thinking the very same thing. And that didn't mean so much to me until I heard it from my own family. So a number of years ago, I had some relatives come over from a European country. I was taking them on a tour of downtown Toronto. We went to all the usual tourist places, up the CN Tower and to Chinatown, and rode the subway and went to the Eaton Centre, and they had a great time. Day 2, we were walking along Dundas Street, and we were passing 52 Division Police Station, and I said, come on, let's go in. I know everybody, and we'll get you a tour, and you can see what policing is like. And both my aunt and uncle, they both went, we can't go in there. And you're all smiling, and I know why. They said, we can't go in there. And I said, why can't you go in there? And they go, that's a police station. And I said, what do you think I do for a living? Oh, well, you're different, but that's a police station. We can't go in there. I had to argue with them and drag them into the police station and show them what policing in Canada was all about. So when I look around the city, when I look around the room, I know that more than half of the people in the city of Toronto are not originally from here, whether they've been here for 4 decades or 4 years or 4 weeks. Many people come from places around the world where there is a significant distrust of police. And that's one of the things that we have to work hard to overcome. The police in some other places are corrupt or dangerous or violent, and people don't have anything to do with them. In Toronto, policing is all about providing service to the community and working in partnership with the community in order to solve all our community problems. So thank you so much for coming tonight. It means a lot to us. You're going to hear some interesting information and that you can share with community members about our recruiting drive, and we're seeking talented members from all over the community for many, many different roles. I'll turn the mic over to Haroon because I have a tendency to talk.
Thank you. Good evening, and thanks very much. As Chief said, that there's so much to do in Toronto this evening, but you have decided to come and join us. This is very important, and we as a committee, and on behalf of the Toronto Police Force, I'm very thankful to you. Thank you once again. Would I please ask my committee members to join me here? Nikki, Cornelia, Raja, Zol, Sammy, and Emil. Now, these are the members who work honestly, loyally, with dedication to serve this community. We had some members, they had to go because of some illness or whatever. So we are looking for new members. If anybody in this room is interested in joining this committee, please contact me or our officer, Johnny Bobley. There is a procedure. We'll go through the procedure. If they meet the requirements, we'll be more than happy to join us. That's number one. Number two is, I'm amazed. I lived in this city all my life, and I've been working. This is the 5th chief I'm proud to say that I'm working with. This is the 5th chief I'm serving. And every chief who came here from the day one, they wanted to come to close to the community. People sitting on that side of the room may not know, and a lot of people in the city, they have no idea what police wants. They want to come as close as possible because they think the more close they come to you, they will understand your problem and you will understand what the police expect. So this is a wonderful, in the past I met a few delegations from Europe. They came to me and they invited me at the police headquarters, and their question was that how the Toronto Police works so close to the community, and especially the South Asian community. And I said, ask them, but this is how the Toronto Police Force is strong. The other way is about 3 weeks ago, this committee and the Toronto Police Service, we have organized a recruitment session, and I think we had about 400 or 500 people. That shows that the police is not interested only, I'm sorry to say only white people. They are interested in every community, every color, every culture, and every language. They think if we have all those people join the force will become as strong as it is, and it will become more and more stronger. So if anybody here or know anybody who wants to join the police force, then of course please contact our recruiting officers are here. They will be giving you a brief on recruitment. And ask your friends, ask your family members to try to join the police. As I said, you will never become rich, but you will become rich in the heart because you will be serving one of the finest force in the world. I believe in them. I've seen them. I've seen how they work, and they are a wonderful group of people. Thank you very much.
Hello, everybody. I am the past chair of this consultative committee, and I just want to re-emphasize what has already been said. I would like to first salute Chief Saunders for his wonderful work. Why? Despite of his physical challenges he has gone through, and the leadership he has shown to the communities and world at large, we should be very proud of Chief Saunders. We are very proud of you. Ladies and gentlemen, over the years, we have worked with many chiefs, as Harun said. I started before Harun, but he has been kind enough to be working with the consultative committees for all these years. But the cultural sensitivities, the linguistic sensitivities, and the religious sensitivities which has been created in the Toronto Police is one of the best in the world, and you should be very proud of that. And I tell you, people, other police agencies from around the world, as Harun said, coming to Toronto to learn from us, we have become the role models, not the fashion models, anyhow. And I tell you, you should support what we are doing and support the chief, what he is doing. And don't listen to the negativity, because negativities are never going to be enough. It will continue. But it is our job as community leaders, as faith leaders, that we promote harmony and togetherness and unity. Work together. And we are very grateful for each one of you coming today to our event, and we are proud of you and your communities. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We are in miniature world. In the sense we have people who have come from over 200 countries with all religions and all faith and things like that. As far as Toronto is concerned, the most safest city in the world, because the Toronto police have done a wonderful job. For example, our chief last year mentioned something. The police officers have to be part and parcel of the community. They should not be in uniform all the time. They have to be part and parcel of the community and participate in the community event. So it's a kind of two-way traffic, and it somehow bridged the gap. Because of that, they are working with us very closely, and we see the positive side of them. They see the positive side of us. So you join us. We all will make Toronto is the safest and the best city in the world. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So we talked about recruitment, your career, your community, you can make a difference. If you ever thought about becoming a police officer, or you know someone, maybe a family member, would like to become a police officer, the Toronto Police Service is now hiring. In fact, they're looking for over 180 uniform and over 300 different civilian job opportunities to experience. And here we have Ishmael Dukai from Talent Acquisition, who's going to explain the process. All right, so make some noise for him because his boss is here.
Yes, thank you. Thanks, Jeff.
And I understand performance reviews are coming up, so.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Once again, my name is Ismail Dukai, and I am a Toronto Police recruiter. And I was told by my good friend Johnny to keep it to 15 minutes. So I'll do my best, because the original presentation takes about an hour and a half. Okay? But not to worry, if everyone here has further questions about my presentation, Johnny is going to prepare a package which will give you more details on what I'm talking about, okay? So what's going to happen is we're going to talk about the Toronto Police Service, okay? Some of the steps required to become a police constable. We're going to talk about civilian opportunities. We're also going to talk about our auxiliary opportunities, which is our volunteer opportunities. So briefly, a little bit about Toronto. Toronto Police is the largest municipal police service in Canada. So that basically means when people apply for uniform jobs, civilian opportunities, we get the most amount of applicants compared to any other service. When it comes to North America, we, the Toronto Police Service, are the 4th largest, only next to Los Angeles, New York, and Chicago. So we definitely are a large service. When it comes to becoming a police officer in this province, so I'm not talking about Toronto Police, I'm talking about the province of Ontario, these are the minimum requirements. You have to be at least 18 years of age to apply. I know some people have asked, recruiters, asked myself many times, is there an age where I need not apply because I'm too old? The answer to that is if you can pass all the medical, the physical, the written requirements, then you have a shot just like anyone else. In fact, 8 years ago, we hired a 52-year-old gentleman. In this class right now, at our Toronto Police College, we have a 47-year-old female. 6 years ago, we hired a 46-year-old female. So the answer is there's no age limit, okay? Good thing is, you don't have to be a Canadian citizen. You can apply as a permanent resident. Okay, so if you have a PR, you can definitely apply to our service. You have to have an Ontario driver's license, a Class G. Okay, when it comes to education, I know it says you need at least a high school education, grade 12, but Superintendent Molyneux at our police college, if he said it, it's okay for me to say it, but about 92% of the people that we do hire, men and women, for the Toronto Police Service have post-secondary education. So in my opinion, if you're a young person in your 20s and 30s, you need post-secondary education. It is advantageous, okay? I look around and I see a few people who are wearing glasses. When it comes to vision, so without any optical aids, your vision cannot be any worse than 20/40, okay? But before you decide to get any type of surgery done, laser surgery, there's several companies out there, please contact Applicant Testing Services, and we'll talk about them. I have their flyers here as well. Okay, that's the company that basically does the testing, the vision, the hearing testing. So I would hate for anyone to spend $4,000 or $5,000 to do surgery on their eyes, and they don't recognize that surgery, because there's some surgeries ATS does not recognize. Okay. Last but not least, to become a police officer, okay, right now with the Toronto Police Service, you have to obtain an OACP, which stands for the Ontario Association Chiefs of Police Certificate, okay, in order for you to apply. And that's done through a company called Applicant Testing Services, okay? That is a separate company in itself. It's not affiliated with Toronto Police, but right now, if you want to become a police officer anywhere in the province of Ontario, with any service, you have to pass a written test and a physical test through Applicant Testing Services. So that was basically the minimum requirement needed to become a police officer in the province. But we, the Toronto Police Service, we just don't want to hire that minimum person. We want to hire someone above average. Who is that person? Like I said, someone with post-secondary education. Someone who has volunteer work experience in community programs. Someone who has an appreciation for being fair and impartial. Someone who has an understanding for human rights and the importance of diversity in our community. This is the type of people that we are looking for. Strong interpersonal relationship and problem-solving skills. Obviously, as officers, when you arrive on scene, okay, you're basically solving problems between two parties most of the time. You have to have that ability to work under stress and the ability to make quick decisions, right? So once again, when you arrive on scene at a call, sometimes you only have a few seconds to decide what to do, where to go. Okay, so you have to have that ability to work under pressure. If you can speak and write English well, that's amazing. If you speak an additional language, that's just icing on the cake. Okay, so these are some of our valued qualifications that we are looking for. So, getting to the interesting stuff about policing. What is our work schedule like? So police officers in the City of Toronto, they work 7-day shifts. Day shifts are 10 hours long. Okay, there's an early day shift which starts at 6 in the morning, ends at 4 p.m. The late day shift is from 7 in the morning till 5 p.m. So you work 7 day shifts, they're 10 hours long, like I said, and you get 5 days off. Okay, after your 5 days off, you come back for 7 evening shifts. And they are 10 hours long as well. So early evenings would be from 4 in the afternoon to 2 in the morning. Late shift would be from 5 p.m. till 3 in the morning. So once again, they're 10-hour shifts, and you work 7 in a row. After your 7 evening shifts, you do get 5 days off. Especially when you're new, you will. After that, because of court and everything. But we're just talking about new officers here, so you will get 5 days off. After your 5 days off, when you're nice and fresh, you come back for 7 night shifts. And night shifts are 8 hours long. They're from 11 p.m. till 7 in the morning. Okay, so you do that for 7 in a row, you get 4 days off, and the fun starts all over again. Okay? This slide over here, basically, and it's not an exhaustive list, but we have a lot of specialized units within the Toronto Police Service. So as a police officer, after working 4 to 5 years on the street, when you're a first-class police constable, you can apply to these specialized units. And with these units, you don't have to just be a uniformed member. So we have uniform officers and civilian members, so non-uniform personnel, working in each and every one of these units. Okay? So everyone has that opportunity. Okay, the juicy part. As an officer, once you get hired, okay, you sign that conditional offer of employment, you get 24 weeks of training at our police college and the Ontario Police College. So during training, you're getting paid already. Okay, so as you can see, it's about $62,000. What happens is once you're done your training, after your 24 weeks, you are now known as a fourth-class police constable. Okay, so that's what a fourth-class police constable makes. A year later, 12 months later, you sit down with your staff sergeant, your inspector, they review, okay, how you've been on the road, how you do your reports, how do you get along with the community if there's any issues, how you get along with your peers. If there's no issues, you now become a third-class constable. 12 months later, same thing happens, second class, first class, and you can top off at a first-class constable. And then after that, if you decide to get promoted, you can write your sergeant's exam, staff sergeants, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, but that is the pay structure for the different classes of police constable. So when you go on our website, you'll see that there's different sections. There's uniform opportunities, civilian opportunities, and auxiliary opportunities. Okay, we also have information sessions. So for those of you who are interested in policing, we offer free, it's one of my favorite words, free fitness sessions. We offer free practice writing sessions, test writing sessions. So if you're interested, please take advantage of that. It's free, okay? So please do take advantage of that. So when it comes to our civilian opportunities, as you can see, right now, if I would go on the website, I would see we're looking for parking enforcement officers. We're looking for court officers. Okay? I tell people to check our website a couple times a month, minimum. Okay? Because whenever they need a position filled, that's when they'll post it. So generally speaking, at least 3-4 times we have IT positions in a year that open up. We have our 911 dispatchers, which is our communication services. Okay, that's another job. If mechanics don't fix our cars, we can't drive them. So we're going to be looking for mechanics next year especially. Okay, that's what I've been told. Yeah, you just go on civilian opportunities and take a look. If you see something you like, when you click on it, it'll tell you what the minimum requirement is for that position. Because keep in mind, every position has different minimum requirements. Okay, so if you're looking for HR administrative duties, you don't have to do push-ups or sit-ups, okay? So each job has a different requirement, and at the bottom of each job posting is a person's name who's in charge of that specific process. So if you need any further information, you would contact that person through email, through phone call. Civilian, I want to talk about auxiliary opportunities as well. So basically, when you go on our website right now, we are actually looking for auxiliary officers, okay? This is a volunteer job, so you don't get paid, but what a great way to get your foot in the door. If you're humming and hawing about policing, is it for me? Would I like the environment, the atmosphere? The auxiliary program, in my opinion, is a great way to experience that, okay? Auxiliary officers, we have a few right here. They're always helping us out. They're a great asset to us. If anything major happens, okay, like we had the unfortunate incidences there in North York this year on the Danforth, auxiliary officers are a valuable asset in terms of helping us get statements. If it's we just had our Santa Claus parade. They help us block traffic, direct traffic. So auxiliary officers are a great help to us. For the auxiliary program, they basically ask that auxiliary officers give 150 hours a year commitment. So if you really think about it, it's not a lot of hours, okay? Because for each event that you pick, and you get to pick which events you want to go to, okay? You'll check a computer screen. And when it comes to training as well, okay, if you're worried that, hey, I work full-time, how can I be an auxiliary officer? Most of the training that you get on the Criminal Code, Highway Traffic Act, Defensive Tactics training, these are all done at our Toronto Police College, and they're done in the evening, okay? And you can volunteer on weekends as well. If you do work shift work, there's events you can sign up for in the morning, okay? Or if you do work in the morning, there's events you can sign up for the evenings, okay, and weekends. So it's pretty flexible. You get to choose where you're available. The application process is the same. You apply online. So for every, and I wanted to stress this, for every position you want to apply for, okay, gone are the days when I came on, you have to hand in your resume in person. Everything is done online, okay? So when you go on the website, when you pick when you're interested in a career, a posting, you click on it, you apply online. That's where you hand in your cover letter, your resume, and then the process starts from there, okay? Same with the auxiliary process. You apply online, your application is assessed. You have a written interview first, a verbal interview. There's a thorough background check that's done. It has to be approved by our senior officers, the board, and the training starts. So that, ladies and gentlemen, was I 15 minutes? Was that good?
16.
Was I 16?
I was going to add something. So,
Yes.
folks, just a lot of information there for applying for 3 positions we're looking for. We're looking for uniform, we're looking for civilian, we're looking for volunteer. I just want to draw your attention to, there's 3 officers in the back there in the blue shirts. Wave. There are volunteer officers. I invite you to, when we have our break, to go up and speak to them, ask them more.
And the volunteers, how's your experience? How long have you been a volunteer? 4 months? 2 months. How about you? Same. Well, you guys sign up together or what? You did. Bring a friend. It was like bring a friend and you got a free donut. How about you, sir?
About 4 months.
Everybody's 4 months. Awesome. How's your experience so far? The chief's not here. You can say whatever you want now.
Very good.
Very good? Yeah? How about you? Yeah? These are volunteer folks. When you're out there lining up for food, bring them some as well. All right? All right. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you really for all that you do. We're now going to take a minute to thank a few people who are making efforts to build positive police-community relationships. At this point, I would like to invite Haroon Khan and Raja to come up here for a very special presentation.
I would like to invite our loving, hardworking Deputy Chief Coxon to say a few words.
Good evening. I'm so humbled to be here with you this evening. I actually wasn't expecting to come up and say a few words. In fact, I was still thinking about the sweet treats we were talking about over there. But I just wanted to thank all of you for coming tonight, because it's only with all of your help that we can come together to make Toronto safe. I know it's a theme that we've heard a lot about tonight, but it's true, right? It's so important that we build friendships and that we come together to talk about the things that are working well and the things that concern you. Because when there is a problem, it's too late to build those friendships. And so I look forward tonight to getting to know some of you better, to just saying hello, and to just encouraging us to continue on our journey of friendship together. Thank you so much.
Now, just to let you know, that these chiefs here, they just don't sit in the office. I was asking her where, she was going to go, so I said, where are you going? She said, I have to go on the roads to check the roads. I said, deputy going to the roads? She said, I go once a week or twice a week. Thank you so much. No wonder our streets are safe.
Now we have a special awards we are going to give from the community. Suresh Jokin, he's one of the Guinness record holder, and he's going to recognize the Toronto Police, one of the officer, Inspector Riaz Hussain. Suresh.
Good evening, everyone. So I'm very happy to hear on this occasion. I've seen the world. Recently, I ran around the world, almost 6 continents, 72 countries, and 125 cities. I've seen the world. The world is good, and including the Mexico, Turkey, all over the world. And I've seen the best country in the world is Canada. Because we are the world, all the people, we get together and form the biggest community in the world. So that's the thing I'd say is best for the country in the world. And my aim is to help people who suffer from poverty, disease, and war. So we create an organization called No Poverty, No Disease, No War. For that only I ran around the world to declare one day as a ceasefire day, the August 1st. So with me here, Mr. David Gold is a president of the No Poverty, No Disease, No War. And we are establishing coming from August 1st. Thank you very much for honoring me. And I'd like to thank Mr. Raja. And so many people are here. I am breaking records almost 2.5 decades. I hold 69 world records. I'm second highest in the world and number 1 in Canada. And thank you very much. And I see in all the world, they help me lots. And Derek, and so many people, Srini, Samia, Patras, so many people are here, all the knowing people. And thank you very much. God bless you all.
May I ask Mr. Riaz Hussain to please come and receive his award.
Don't be shy, guys. Go right in the front. Go right over there because it looks better. And there you go. Somebody take a picture.
I'll read it for you here.
Roger, get closer. Okay.
Honorable Inspector Riaz Hussain, with sincere appreciation for your contribution to the successful completion of the World Peace Marathon to educate No Poverty, No Disease, No War Day. Thank you very much sincerely.
Can I kindly request Chief Saunders to please join us here? Thank you.
Yeah, this is 2019 Guinness Book of World Record. My name is listed here in 2117 page.
Am I in it? You got a signed copy.
I signed the copy for Chief Saunders. God bless you.
Oh, excellent.
And your name is here. Honorable.
Thank you very much.
Judge Albert. May I have the honor to invite Honorable Judge Albert Wong. Now, just to introduce, Judge Albert Wong is one of the senior citizenship judge in Toronto. He's been working, he's an officer of the Canadian Navy and a judge. He will be speaking to you in a few minutes. Thank you.
Jeff Alexander.
Can I invite Officer Alexander to receive his book?
Thank you. He was helping me in my World Peace Marathon last day, 22nd of September when I arrived. And he helped me on that, my marathon from Mississauga to Toronto, my last marathon. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. And I'll just say, I came here with Suresh, and we came to really thank the police because, echo Chief Saunders' comments and some other comments earlier, when we needed support from the police to a T, gracious, and didn't know necessarily who we were, literally making phone calls saying we need some help. Suresh is a big closing party at Queen's Park, and we wanted to make it a nice fanfare. And to everyone here's credit, you guys came through, put a big smile on Suresh's face and all of us volunteers. We thank you. You guys are doing a wonderful job. We appreciate it. And keep up the good work. You know, I feel like applying for a job here. It's so great. Honest to God. Doing a great job. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, and you got a uniform. I'm hung up on that uniform thing. Folks, dinner will be soon, and there is halal food as well. Suresh, I've known Suresh for a number of years. In fact, on Rogers TV, he held the world, we did, I think, during Thanksgiving weekend, several years ago, world record TV show. I think he won the Guinness World Book of Records for the longest TV show. I mean, we started Friday on Thanksgiving right till Sunday night or Monday, I can't remember, but my goodness, the guests, and this guy wouldn't sleep. He was just talking and talking. You can talk a lot. You should consider politics. No, I'm kidding. We don't have any politicians here, do we? No. All right, folks, it is my great pleasure to invite, as Haroon said, he is a senior citizenship judge, and I've known him for a number of years, and what a great guy, An honor to have him invite folks that want to be Canadians and take the citizenship oath, because he has done so much for the community, and he is just the right guy to do it. Would you please welcome our wonderful citizenship judge, the Honorable Mr. Albert Wong.
Thank you, Jake. Chief Saunders, Deputy Chief Coxon, Superintendent Hegedus, and Chief, I just want to say that I don't see anything acting in Superintendent Hegedus' work. I'm really looking forward to when it's Superintendent. Thank you. Members of the Toronto Police Forces, ladies and gentlemen, consuls, thank you so much. I just want to spend a few minutes to talk about citizenship because a few months ago, the Consultative Committee under the leadership of Haroon and the Superintendent and the Chief co-hosted a citizenship ceremony in Toronto where we swore in 200 new Canadians from over 30 countries. Before I start as well, I just wanted to acknowledge a good friend of mine who's here, Commander Walter Monitz, who was just introduced as Justice of Peace. He's the Justice of Peace by daytime, he's the Naval Officer at nighttime, and he's the Commanding Officer of HMCS York, and his coxswain, Chief Petty Officer Sirhan Steer, as well as two members of the Royal Canadian Navy sitting in the back. So please take your time. They're great partners of the Toronto Police, and I hope that you'll get to meet them. I also wanted to, if you don't mind, Chief, I want to acknowledge a very special police officer who's here with us today, and I'm always happy to see him. And that's, are you a staff yet, or are you a sergeant still? I forgot to look at your applet. All right, Sergeant Jeff Alderdice. You should know that Sergeant Jeff Alderdice served with us in Afghanistan in Kandahar as a member of the Canada's contribution of civilian police to the country of Afghanistan to help build up their police forces in Afghanistan. And it was at a mission when he was there that the police station in Kandahar City came under severe attack. And Sergeant Alderdice was coming back and realized that one of his colleagues, a U.S. Army captain, was caught in the kill zone. And while thinking of his own safety, Sergeant Alderdice took action and neutralized a significant machine gun nest on a rooftop of a hotel, went in and saved the captain, brought in ammunition for the captain because the captain had run out of ammunition, and together they fought their way out of that kill zone. And for that action, Sergeant Alderdice has been awarded the Ontario Medal of Police Bravery and the Canadian Medal of Bravery. And I just want to recognize him on that. And I want to do that because we have heroes in our midst, and that's what the police forces do. That's what our first responders do. And they walk amongst us very quietly, and if I had not related that story to you, you would have walked past Sergeant Alderdice and seen him at work and not recognized what he had done, not only for us here in Toronto, but also for country of Canada. I also want to perhaps talk a bit about citizenship. Citizenship to me is not just geography. It's not just a function of geography, but it's a function of community. It's a function of belonging, a function of ownership. And let me illustrate what I mean with this. We just went through, and we just went past Remembrance Day, November 11, 2018. It's a significant Remembrance Day this year because it's the centenary of the end of the Great War, the First World War. And I know all of you would have worn your poppies because it's almost obligatory these days. And I'm sure all of you had joined a cenotaph somewhere to commemorate that moment. But I'll also be frank and say that most of our community members would not have been there. It would have just been another day, a Sunday. If at most they would have said something was happening, even though they wore the poppy. So we recognize Remembrance Day, but we did not take part in Remembrance Day. Because, and I don't blame them, because when you look at our history books in Canada, you would think that that war, the First World War, did not really involve us. It was really a Western war. But then we would forget that there's Private Bakam Singh, who served as a Sikh man with the Canadian Expeditionary Force. And he died in 1919 as a result of his injuries he sustained. We would not remember John Babu from Winnipeg, who was injured on Vimy Ridge. Nor would we remember the 1.3 million members of the Indian Army who served in the Great War. That they served not only in Egypt and Turkey, but also in the Western Front. Nor would we remember the over 300,000 men who were recruited from Guangdong province to serve on the front lines of Europe as the labor force. So in ownership, I would like to invite perhaps us to do this for the next Remembrance Day. As leaders of the community, that we bring our community to an understanding that that poppy that we wear is not just for a war from the past, but a memory of the people of who we are in this country, of the people who have served us, and also as a way to tell the mainstream community of the contributions that our former home countries had done. And really, when you think about that, that's the purpose of this consultative committee. This consultative committee has two purposes: to bring us closer to the police, but also to bring the police closer to us. But I would suggest to you, from all the wonderful things that we've just heard about, that it could be at a superficial level, or it could be an ownership level, where we think of this consultative committee not just because of its public safety, not just because of its employment opportunities, but because the Toronto Police actually belong to us. And if we get to that level, then I would suggest to you, then and perhaps only then, we truly, fully own our citizenship. Thank you.